You know, in the global race to build billion-dollar companies, it often feels like it comes down to luck. But what if you could replace luck with a formula? Well, that's exactly what South Korea is trying to do. They've built something you might call a unicorn factory, a government program literally designed to manufacture tech giants. And today, we're going to take a look inside.
So, how does a factory like this actually work? Well, it all boils down to one simple idea: the preliminary unicorn. Basically, the government acts like a super scout, finding the most promising startups out there, and then giving them everything they need to hit that magical billion-dollar valuation. Think of it less like a handout and more like an elite training camp for future tech Olympians.
Okay, so is the factory actually churning out winners? Let's just look at one number from the class of 2024, 24.7%. That's the average revenue growth for these companies. And get this, every single one of them grew. That's not just a good sign, that's pretty solid proof that this government rocket fuel is actually working.
Right, so that 24.7% average is huge. Let's dig a little deeper and meet the stars of the 2024 class to see what's really behind their incredible growth.
Now, when you look at the top performers, you see something pretty fascinating. You've got these two biotech heavy hitters, BioOrchestra and First Bio, posting absolutely massive gains. But then, right alongside them, you have Rappo Labs, which is a fashion platform. This tells you the program isn't just betting on one type of horse, it's finding winners in both deep science and direct-to-consumer businesses.
Let's break down one of their key strategies for success: global ambition. Take a company like Nature Mobility. Their gym car platform didn't just stay in Korea. Nope, they immediately pushed into the US, Guam, and Japan. This is exactly the kind of worldwide thinking the program is trying to encourage. But going global isn't the only way to win. Rappo Labs shows a totally different playbook: hyper-focus. They targeted a really powerful niche with Queenit, a fashion platform specifically for women in their 40s and 50s. And the result? A 38% jump in revenue to 57 billion won, with profitability right around the corner. It just goes to show that owning a dedicated local market can be an absolute powerhouse move. And if you want to see what happens when these companies really hit true scale, you have to look at Ignis. They pulled in the highest revenue of the entire group, a whopping 129 billion won. So how'd they do it? By completely dominating store shelves. One of their food brands sold over 100 million units, while a new beverage brand just exploded, with sales skyrocketing over 200%. This just proves these startups can become household names, and they can do it fast. The 2024 class is really impressive, for sure, but this program's been up and running since 2019, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the total impact it's had.
And wow, the factory's total output is pretty stunning. The 126 companies chosen so far have pulled in over 5 trillion won in private investment. But here are the real trophies: 8 official unicorns, 13 companies that went public, and 4 successful acquisitions. These aren't just numbers on a page. They are real, massive economic wins.
Okay, so the program is clearly a powerhouse at creating valuable, fast-growing companies inside Korea. Case closed, right? Well, not exactly. Because in the world of tech, the real competition isn't local. So the really tough question is all this domestic success actually enough to win on the world stage? To answer that, we have to pull the lens way back. Because this isn't just about Korea succeeding in a vacuum. It's about how Korea stacks up against everyone else in the world. And this is where the story gets complicated. From 2020 to 2024, Korea nearly doubled its unicorn count. That sounds amazing, right? Until you see the global numbers. In that same time, the rest of the world's unicorn count more than tripled. So the hard truth is, despite all this effort, Korea is actually losing ground in the global unicorn race. So what's holding them back? Well, it seems to be the type of companies they're building. Over 80% of Korea's unicorns are B2C platforms, meaning they're focused on local consumers. That's great when the home economy is booming, but it makes them incredibly vulnerable to any downturns. It's really the opposite of the US model, where so many unicorns are B2B tech firms that have a global market from day one. But here's the thing. Korea sees this gap, and they are not standing still. For 2025, they're making a huge strategic pivot. They're retooling the entire unicorn factory to build a completely different kind of company, and it's all centered on one idea: deep tech. So what does this retooling actually look like? 2 key upgrades. First, they're giving deep tech companies an advantage in the selection process, a really clear signal of their new priority.
And second, they're creating a performance-linked guarantee. In short, if you're a top performer, you automatically get more support. No more red tape, just pure acceleration. And this is what they mean by deep tech. The government has actually handpicked 10 fields it believes will own the future. We're talking AI, robotics, semiconductors, biotech, you name it. The goal here is simple. Shift from building the next great shopping app to creating the fundamental technology that could power the entire globe.
So here's the new assembly line. Step 1. Still select an elite group of about 15 companies. Step 2. Give them a massive safety net of up to 20 billion won. But the real game changer is Step 3. The best of the best get to skip the line for more funding. It's a really powerful incentive to not just grow, but to absolutely dominate.
Which, of course, brings us to our final massive question. The preliminary unicorn program has proven it can build successful domestic powerhouses. But will this strategic pivot, this all-in bet on global deep tech, be the move that forges South Korea's next generation of true global giants? The factory is being retooled, but the race has never been more intense.